Let's make a ring together, except today we're going to be ditching our original setup because we're going to be making a sea glass ring. So this is a little piece of sea glass that we're going to be working with, and I'm going to go ahead and start with wrapping the bezel wire around the stone first. I did go with a serrated bezel wire. I personally prefer this one because I feel like it brings such an extra sparkle to the ring. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and solder this shut. Right now I'm just covering the piece of metal in flux. This is just going to protect our piece from fire scale while also helping the solder flow. Also, that's the little piece of solder that we need for this piece. I'm going to go ahead and grab that and place it right by the seam and then just heat it up until it flows. Next, I'm going to quench the piece and then sand it down just because it is a little bit too tall for the stone that we picked out. And then we're going to grab our back plate. It's basically just a giant piece of sterling silver metal. So I just placed the bezel that we soldered right on there and then trace around it. That way we don't cut any more than we need because this little piece of metal is pretty expensive. Here's what it looks like once it's cut out. I did stamp a 925 stamp on the back of it. And now we're just going to solder these two pieces together. So same as before, I'm going to add the flux, cut some pieces of solder, and then heat up the piece until the solder flows. And then again, I'm just going to go ahead and quench the piece. That way we could keep on working without getting burnt. After this, we're going to trim the excess back plate. I do make sure to save these pieces as well because we could melt them down again later and make embellishments out of them. Anyways, here's what our bezel looks like so far. Now I'm just going to go in with the Dremel tool and sand it down until it all blends together and it looks nice and seamless just like this. Now we're going to get started on making the ring band. I am using a thinner wire for this one just because the goal is to make a cute little dainty ring. And I did cut it so that we end up making a size 6.5. Right now I'm just filing down the ends of the metal. That way they're nice and straight, because in a second we are going to grab the two ends of this piece and bend them together. That way they line up perfectly. And we don't want any gaps in this whatsoever because it will make the soldering process much more difficult. So here's what it looks like so far. And again, I'm going to go ahead and solder this shut. And after this, we're going to grab our ring mandrel and hammer this out until it's a perfect circle. At this point, there is still excess solder on the ring band, so I am going to grab a little piece of sandpaper along with our Dremel tool and sand off any of the excess solder on both the outside and the inside of the ring. Now we're going to solder together everything that we've made so far, so it's just the same exact process as before. And once we're done soldering, we're going to put the ring into what is called a pickling solution. This is just going to help clean up our ring and get off any fire scale. After this, we do need to sand down the ring using these sanding discs. We're going to go all the way up to a 2000 grit, so we do need to start with the dark green one first, and this is just going to help get out any major imperfections. For some reason, I didn't record me setting the stone, but I did set the stone in the ring, and then we are going to throw it inside the jewelry tumbler. This is just going to help get out any minor imperfections while also bringing a shine to the ring. Now we are finally on to the last and final step, which is just going in with 2 different polishing compounds. Anyways, here's the final reveal of the ring. Again, like I said earlier, I did make this one in a size 6.5. Here's what the ring looks like on. And I'm also going to show you a second ring that I made. I didn't record the making process of this one, but I did want to share it because it's basically the same style, just made in a smaller ring size.